Hello, Facebook Live. Good morning. Happy Friday to everyone. I appreciate you joining. I'm just going to kind of give it a minute here while we get started and see. We have some people popping on. So this is my first live stream of the new year and it's almost February. So that shows you the schedule that I'm on. Let me know if you're here. Just drop an emoji or a comment and just say hi so that I know that you're here. I know that when I was creating this event, this will tell you how long it's been since I did a live event. I used to do events like 3 or 4 a month. Some of you guys seeing this may have been to some of my live events or some of my online events, and I literally forgot how to do it. So I wasn't sure if I created the event in my new Facebook group, which I was trying to do, or if I did it on my page. So if you're seeing this in the Facebook group, you got a notification and you're probably watching this there. If not, you may be seeing this on my page or wherever I share it to. So that is all great. Good. We'll get it cleared up and figured out. So I want to take this opportunity, first of all, just to really, hey, Christy, good morning. Thanks for joining. Good to see you. I'm sure we're going to have people hopping on. And again, if you can't stay or you don't get all of it, there, I will put this replay up. But do stick with me because I have some really good golden nuggets that are going to be powerful takeaways for you to integrate and actually take some aligned action on. Okay, so one of the reasons that I wanted to go live today is to kick off the Lunar New Year, which happened this past weekend, was the start of that. It's the Chinese New Year. It's also the Human Design New Year. It's the Astrological New Year. So many of you, or if you're not been in my world, you're going to know once you're in my world that I use human design and gene keys as tools in a lot of my high-level work with my clients, in my events. And it's really just an astrological science that helps you understand who you are inherently at your core. So there's personality, there's an influence from the planets that are in a certain alignment at your birth. And also as we move through different transits, planets go retrograde, they go direct, the sun moves through different parts of the cosmic order. And so I'm going to be talking a lot about human design and our natural states of genius and how we're designed in all of my topic. So today I wanted to come on and first wish everyone a happy Lunar New Year. And also I'm kicking off and launching my new community, which is called Power Your Purpose. So that is a private Facebook group. I just made it private because I'm going to be sharing a lot of content. I'm going to be putting charts and files and worksheets and workbooks, and I'm going to be teaching many masterminds and masterclasses in that group. So if you have already joined that group, great, welcome. If not, and you're seeing this, I did put the link to the group in the chat in the comments here, and I'll also post it again for those that want to be a part of a community of like-minded people, lots of visionaries, lots of leaders, lots of entrepreneurs, lots of independent contractors, like that might be like a real estate agent or some sort of a consultant where you really are your own business and you really depend on your energy to be able to be moving and flowing and create connections in order for you to thrive. And the more that we can connect to our own individual energy and also the energy of those around us and harness what's going on energetically around us, the more we can create really powerful results and consistent results is that. So welcome. If you're just joining, thank you and good morning. So the title of today's talk is Leveraging the Power of New Beginnings. And so we are in the first quarter of this new year, and we have the Lunar New Year That just means that the sun has moved into a certain position in the transits, and we have this energy to begin again, to start over, to start fresh, to pivot, to have things be more deliberate and intentional. And one of the things at this time that we really want to be doing right now is taking an inventory of what we have been experiencing and what we would like to see shift about that. So that might be your level of stress, your things that you've said yes to that you know now are going to be no's for you going forward. Maybe you're involved in some things that you need to kind of like back out of, or it could be a position, an organization, a volunteer thing that just isn't aligned for you anymore. And also it could be a certain income milestone or a way that your business is running that is depleting you. It's not working with your natural energy. And you're like, okay, I need to sort of put in some systems and take some actions, say yes to some things, say no to some things. And sometimes saying yes means you need to say yes to you first and foremost. That's going to look different for all of us. But today I want to kind of take you through a few questions and exercises that I do with myself and my clients that really kind of help you take an inventory of where your power is going. Like, where are you giving your power away? Where are you focusing your attention? Because when you focus your attention with your time, that's why we say we pay attention. We're taking an energetic currency and paying it towards whatever we're focusing on. So if you're feeling depleted at the end of the day, you want to take an inventory of where you are placing your energetic attention. And you're the only one that can do that assessment. And you're the only one that's really going to know what you need to do, what actions you need to take, what things you need to stop doing that's going to help you leverage the energy of your personal power. So in my coaching business, and the whole platform is based on 3 pillars. It's purpose, personal power, and prosperity. And so from my experience of being a coach for almost 20 years and supporting entrepreneurs and running organizations, I can tell you that the number one pillar that will determine your success in all the other areas is personal power. Where you are taking actions and doing things that are expanding your power, and where you are involving yourself in things that are depleting your energy, that are diminishing your power. When we have a diminished, depleted energy, we open ourselves up for things like getting sick, getting ill, making mistakes, having situations come in that we normally, because our magnetism is kind of like, it's subdued. We're not as magnetic. We're not as focused. We're not as turned on and activated as we could be. So this all comes down to cycles. And I did a live stream on Instagram the other day, earlier this week, actually. It's here on my Facebook feed, and it's also on my Instagram feed at Chad Welch Lifestyle. If you want to take a look at that, it's like an 8-minute video. But I talked about the natural cycles of nature. Nature is tied to cycles, and we are part of nature, and we are tied to cycles. This planet is a living, breathing planet that operates on cycles. And so you have cycles within your life, within your health, within your relationships, within your finances, within your business, within your personal growth. And so the more that we can pay attention to how we're feeling now in this present moment, we can start to gauge where we are in the middle of certain cycles. If there's something showing up that's keeping you up at night, that you keep going back to and keeps pulling your attention, it's like wanting to wake you up to something that maybe it is working or it's not working. It's noisy or it's calling you to focus your attention there. That is your indication that you're in the middle of some kind of a cycle in that area. And so this is great because when we're in the middle of a cycle and we can see that, we can start to take action and we can create a plan and we can create a new beginning. And that's the whole point I wanted to really drive home, if nothing else today, is that the leveraging the power of new beginnings, we can actually create our own beginnings in the middle of a cycle. Now, there are certain natural cycles that we can leverage. This comes in by knowing your human design, knowing what your natural states of energy are, knowing how to make decisions based on your design, knowing how to say yes and no and when. It's about a timing thing. This is all things that we learn when we integrate and align with our human design, and they just make things more smooth. So I actually was making some notes today, and I had this concept kind of stream in, and I want to share it with you about cycles. So cycles, and if you're following me here and this is resonating, just drop an emoji and let me know. If you just joined, say hi, let me know that you're here. Okay, we're talking about cycles. Now, I have a prop here. So this is the I Ching. This is the Chinese Book of Changes. This is one of the texts that has heavily influenced the human design and astrology systems over the years. And this is an ancient wisdom. We're also in the Chinese New Year. And this is the Chinese Book of Changes. It's the I Ching, but it's just the Chinese Book of Changes. And there are 64 archetypes. And when we talk about an archetype, we're talking about who we're being. Like, what is that avatar or that hat of that persona that you are putting on at any moment? And you have a choice on how you present that version of yourself when you're coming from an awareness about it. And so these 64 archetypes cover different cycles that are connected to our own divine blueprint as humans. We have 64 codons in the DNA. And so we have these 64 archetypes. And so this is the human design mandala and body graph. I'm not going to go through this today. This is not a human design training. I just want to show you guys that the sun goes through these transits, and the positioning of the planets and the sun moving through these different archetypes have a collective influence on all of us. Okay, so the cycles are connected to rhythms. And a rhythm, as it plays out consistently, creates a harmonizing effect. It's about a harmony. Okay, so the cycle is made up of consistent rhythms that create a harmonic balance. And when we're in harmony, we can also call that our flow state. If you think about water, when water is flowing and it's contained inside the banks of a river or a canal, it keeps moving forward without having to keep itself moving. And if it comes up on an obstacle, it just moves around it and goes around the other side. So the more that we can operate in this harmonic flow in these cycles, the more we can leverage. We can actually not have to swim so hard or paddle so hard. We can take advantage of the energy and almost ride the energy. It's like hopping on a magic carpet ride. Okay, so as we are more in this flow state, we're more naturally connected to the cycles. So you don't have to start figuring these cycles out. These cycles will start to show up and you'll feel them. And you know when things are getting bumpy or things are not working or the energy is stagnant, that there's something you're not working with naturally. Now, this doesn't mean that if you can be the most harmonized, flow statey person out there and you're still going to have things that show up that present difficulties. It's like the river. The rock is there. So the river just figures out a way to either go over the rock, work with the rock, or go around the rock. It doesn't freak out and stop and put on the brakes and say, oh no, there's a rock. So this is how we're designed to be able to maneuver when we're in our flow state. So this is all tied back to the cycles. And so consistent rhythms are created by habits. And so habits are our daily moment to moment actions and ways that we are, as I said earlier, focusing and spending our energy. So what we want to do is just break this down into moment by moment, being present with whatever's in front of you right now. This is why a lot of people get into anxiety, is because they take all this stuff that's on the horizon and bring it all now. And it all doesn't need to be dealt with in that order right now. It just needs to be dealt with whatever's in front of you right now. This doesn't mean that you're not visionary or that you're not planning ahead, but you really have to just sit with what's showing up right now and be present with it, and then devise moment by moment what you're going to do. And so these little habits that we can create build up over time. And a lot of you hear me talk about quantum leaps. It's like when you were here and then all of a sudden you've just leapt to here. Well, I guarantee you that leap has been happening over time with little, small, incremental shifts and changes and implementing of actions and habits. So we don't need to think about being here and wanting to be here as this big, arduous, huge thing. It's just about being present moment by moment so that we know what actions we can take that are going to create these habits that are going to sustain this flow state and keep us in this harmony of our cycles. Okay, so I'm actually going to I wrote this out today. I'm going to create a flow chart of this because it's super powerful. I'm going to put that flow chart in the document section, the file section of this Facebook group, Power Your Purpose. And so I'm going to have a resource library there. So that's why you want to get into this group. If you're not already in this group, if you're seeing this outside of the group, so that you can take advantage of a lot of these tools and resources that I'm building and putting together for all you guys. These have been things that I've been using for years, and sometimes I create a tool and sometimes it's a talk, but this is going to be a flow chart and a worksheet just to help you visualize how the cycles and the habits are all tied together. Okay, so that's about leveraging the power of new beginnings, because every time you create a new habit for yourself and you get in the habit of it being consistent and it creates a flow state, that is a new energetic beginning for you. You've become a higher version of yourself. You've become a higher version of an archetype. These archetypes all have like their shadow aspect, which is like the thing that's like the challenge about them. And then they have like the gift, which is the expansive thing. So there might be an archetype of a certain, personality, and it has kind of like, well, here's like the challenging part of that personality, and here's like the really empowering, what we would say the good part of that is. And so we can see how these different archetypes play out, and we have all parts of all of them inside of us as humans all join together. So the more that you can, really integrate this knowledge, the easier time you're going to have. So with that said, it's all about leveraging where we can access more power, where we can increase our personal power, where we can make things a little bit easier. Like I said, there's going to be things that are challenging, show up all the time, no matter what you do, no matter how empowered you are, no matter how much of this stuff you know, no matter how much you live your template of your human design. We're going to have things that are challenges to show up because we're here learning lessons and we're growing. And so it's in those gaps of the in-between of where you are and where you want to go that the biggest amount of growth happens. So, if that resonates with you, let me know. It's in the gap. It's in the in-between of like, I feel like I'm here, but I know I want to be here, or I know I'm headed here. And it's in that in-between time that we cultivate resiliency, and we increase our patience, and we find new versions of ourselves. We discover things about ourselves that we didn't know or we knew, but now we know in a higher way. And so every higher version of yourself that you align with, that you are co-creating, the more personal power you're going to be able to access. So one of the things that's happening right now, if you look around on this planet, is a lot of us have not been paying attention. We've been kind of like drifting through life, letting the external world influence and manipulate and move us into certain trajectories without knowing how powerful we really are. And so now we're collectively taking that power back. And what's happening is you're seeing a lot of these systems that were based on this control, they're collapsing. And we know that because all you have to do is look at all the dust that's being kicked up of the chaos in the world right now. But what's happening is as all that chaos is happening, you and I are learning how to ground ourselves within the chaos. We are learning how to access our own power, make our own decisions, and create the desired outcome that we want instead of just been handing an outcome from someone and saying, well, this is how it is. We're shifting that dynamic and that paradigm right now. So this is a really important time in this awakening of humanity for us to start to really connect to these natural tools that we have. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know your birth time? Your exact birth time is how we access your human design chart and your natal chart. I'll tell you 40% of the people that come into my world that want to do human design work, they have no idea about their birth time. And guess what? It's not on your short form birth certificate. It's only on the long form birth certificate, which is a whole process. You have to get, it notarized and contact the Vital Records office, and it's this whole thing. And I've always said, if there's a tool available to us that helps you peer into the cosmic order of this human race that we are and why we're here and our connection to our creator and our gifts and talents and zones of genius and all this, if you wanted to control people and manipulate people, you would want to make that information kind of inaccessible to those people, wouldn't you? So we are waking up and reclaiming our power. And one of the ways to do that is to learn as much as you can about who you are inherently designed to be as a divine being that is here with great purpose on this planet, especially right now. Okay, so that's kind of my little take on why it's important for you to start learning about yourself. Years ago, I used to think, astrology was just sort of this woo-woo thing. And it's not that you just learn it and now you know. It's a tool because you can get trapped in it. That's not the entirety of who you are. It doesn't tell you, oh, well, my chart says that I am blah, blah, blah. It's kind of a roadmap to open a bigger field of possibilities for you. And that's what I teach in my coaching and my mentoring and my programs, is that there's these tools and structures that are here to help you. But if you completely rely on the structure without developing your intuition and learning how to make decisions and learning how to interpersonally relate to people and learning how to regulate your emotions and learning how to clear your own trauma, then if you don't have that part too, then you actually get trapped in these systems that are meant to help us. And so that's what I do as a guide, is I help guide you through this blueprint and this map. And then we relate it to your current life or your current business or your relationships or your finances in real time so that it's relatable and it's then actionable. We formulate strategies and plans to move through all of this. Okay, so here's what I want to leave all you guys with that are seeing this today. Again, this was kind of a live that I wanted to do to kick off the Lunar New Year, the Human Design New Year, to have my first live stream of the year and also introduce this Power Your Purpose private Facebook group that we're in right now. It's really important for me to be able to offer a place for people to go and congregate in a community and share this knowledge and connect with each other. So that's really my highest purpose for Power Your Purpose. So I thank you for being here. Again, the link is in the description, in the comments below. So here's what I want to leave you with. I want to leave you with an action item that you can implement now. And what it is a question. So I want you to think about for a minute, if there's an area of your life, business, finances, relationship, something that you're concerned about, something that you know needs to change, something that you're ready to shift, something that you're no longer available for or tolerating, whatever that thing is that right now is like, this would really create an expansive space of a feeling of a new beginning for me if I finally dealt with this thing, or I put my energy and attention into this area. And so that question, and you can just get really quiet, and you may not answer this right now. This might be for later in your meditation, or you might just pose this question and you get an answer right away. What energetic space do I need to be in order to create, manifest, attract, align with this? Whatever that thing is that you desire, whatever that change is that you'd like to see, ask that question. What energetic space do I need to be in for blank to happen, or for me to attract blank, or manifest blank, or align with blank? That question, what energetic space do I need to be in, is also answers the question, who do I need to be? What energy do I need to come forward with? What archetype, what personality would create that result that I want? Being this, if it's being more consistent, or being more trusting, or being in aligned action, or being bold, if that is what's required for you to realize whatever this is you want to manifest, then that is right now your theme for this new year. Who are you going to be? Who do you need to be? Who is the universe calling you to be more of and to take ownership of and integrate? And I'll give you a hint. This archetype is already within you. It just is ready for you to express him or her, or this archetype, this energy, this way of being. It's already there. Maybe you're already being this version to some degree, and now this life that you want to align with requires you to turn up the volume like 20 times, X amount of times on this state, this energetic state of who you're being. Maybe you have been a lot more consistent than you have been in the past, but now just being more consistent than you've been in the past isn't enough. So when you get that answer, I want you to think about, how can I create a system that creates a habit and bring that into my daily life every day? That version of me does this thing every day. That version of me that's the version that will call in or attract or align with this thing that I want, or this desire, or this life. That version of me, how would that version of me act? And what kind of things would that version of me be doing? And so I'm going to leave you with an example of one thing that I'm doing. So I'm really increasing my visibility on social media. I've been posting very, very, very frequently every week. From going from hardly ever posting, I want to just open my community, connect with more people, and be able to communicate through the airwaves, right? And so in order for me to do that, I need a consistent content posting schedule. And I need to create the habits every day of an online entrepreneur that connects with an audience, builds an audience, creates offers, sells, like all the things that go into that. And so in order for me to be that version of that person that has that successful business, that has a big online presence, consistency is important. It's what's required. So I created a content posting system that's a way for me to organize my content and a schedule of when I'm going to post it, and it keeps me accountable to that. Now, a system can be a worksheet. It can be something you write down by hand. It doesn't have to be like this really complicated like website or funnel or technological thing. Keep it simple. So all I did was I created a little content posting sheet. I fill this out every week. I put the week and the theme and the topic and the content and what call to actions and what day I'm posting what. Now I change this around and I don't always follow it to a T, but I have my concepts and my content organized. So this is a system, and I'm creating a habit daily of a successful online entrepreneur that has a system in place that's simple, that I created, that I can follow. So if you actually want a copy of this little template here, I will put this in the files of the Facebook group as well. This is an unbranded piece. I don't even know where I got this from. I think I got it from a program I was in, and it was just like sent out and like use it on your own or whatever. So you guys are welcome to use it. I'll put it in the files here in the Facebook group, and you can download that and start using that if you're interested in posting more, having a bigger presence online, and all that stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so I went a little bit longer than I planned to today, but I wanted to just kind of get the ball rolling on some of these concepts and some of the things that I wanted to talk about, introduce, and get the ball rolling on, like I said. So I really look forward to connecting with all of you and seeing you here, hopefully, in Power Your Purpose, the private Facebook group, and connect with me, and let's just create a powerful year together. I'm really excited about all the possibilities. I can feel the energy of this new cycle, this new beginning, this new year. And we have several months here now of all the planets being direct. And we have a nice portal here to really get moving. We've been kind of in planning and creating mode for a long time. Now it's about action, but taking aligned action and learning how to leverage these natural cycles and rhythms that will create that flow state that will help you move forward with a lot more ease and clarity, and will just help you show yourself a little bit more grace. I mean, I'm trying to do that with myself and really be patient with myself and my journey and where I am, and be careful that I'm not judging how much I'm progressing or not progressing, because there's no race. It's just you aligning more with you and what's really available to you, and opening your perception to that. And you can't see what's available to you if you're bogged down with all these old cycles and things that are ready for you to complete. So if you need help with identifying what those are, I have a really powerful procedure and technique that I take my clients through. It's called a tolerations assessment, and we go through, we're just like, this stays, this goes, get rid of this. And we actually go in real time, energetically, clear those, bring them up, pull them up from the subconscious, clear them out. So if you're interested in doing some one-on-one work with me, then just shoot me a message, and I like to set up a discovery call so we can just kind of talk about that stuff and make sure it's a right fit. I do not do single one-off sessions. And the reason I don't do that is because it's not fair to you. This stuff is really deep. And when we dredge it up and then you don't have more support or another session or a container to deal with this stuff, then you can be out on the end of the limb, and it's very unsafe to leave you in that space and to leave you without a strategy. So I'm all about having a strategy forward that is the quickest, most direct route from here to here. Now, sometimes that can also be the most painful route, but the pain is over faster. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. If you're seeing this outside of this live stream, please connect with me. And I would love to see you here in this group. And have a beautiful weekend. Mwah. Thank you.